What's up, guys? Let's talk about some app updates and do some Q&A for today. So I just released a new version of the app a little bit ago. I have added this option up here for historical performance in this overflow menu. If you click on this, it'll bring up this pop-up, and what you're looking at here is uh, the last 4 quarters of this symbol and the 10-day change. You can change the way this is calculated. So by default, it's calculating each of these data points based on the change from the previous day close, and that's in context of earnings day. But you can also choose change from earnings day open, and you can also get the change from the earnings day close as well. So another cool way to quickly look back in history and see how a stock tends to perform after earnings. The other thing that I added, not quite as interesting, but still kind of useful, is this little help icon down here. If you click on that, you get a couple of links here. One is for this pricing modal. For you guys that aren't premium subscribers, you can see the differences between the packages there. We have terms and privacy. If you guys are interested in reading some legal jargon, a link to the YouTube channel, and this contact, which is what I really wanted to talk about. So if you put your email address in here, subject and a message, it'll come straight to my inbox. Okay, and you can get in direct contact with me that way. Just make sure you put in your actual email address. If you put something bogus in here, I'm not going to be able to reply. All right, so do yourselves a favor and put your actual email address in there before submitting. And that's about it for app updates. There were a few minor bug fixes, but I won't go into that. Let's get into the Q&A portion. First off, these are all from comments on YouTube. So the first question is, I think you mentioned this, but I just want to confirm, is post-earnings high always based on the previous market day? Or is it the previous high since the last earnings day till today? So post-earnings high is a rolling calculation that is calculated at the end of each market day. And you can think of it as the system iterating over each daily candle since earnings, and it'll take the highest high from that group of candles and set that as the post-earnings high. So at the end of earnings day, post-earnings high defaults to whatever the high was on earnings day, and then if the next day's high is higher than earnings day, then that next day will become the post-earnings high. If it's not, then the post-earnings high will remain as whatever that earnings day high is. Next question, are previous day data points always actually in context of the day before earnings? That is correct. Anywhere that you see previous day in these tables, it's in context of earnings. So if you can see all these previous day data points, these are all, except for previous earnings date and previous earnings percent change, these are all in context of whatever the most recent earnings date is. The only exception to that is over here in the symbol profile section, where you see open, high, low, and then the previous high, low, and close. These are actually updated every day to whatever yesterday is. Another question. I see you and others calculate the change from the previous day to earnings day based on previous day close and earnings day close. I've been manually calculating it with the earnings day high instead. Yeah, that's true. That is how we're calculating it, but you can perform your own calculation using the percent change from value. So for this demonstration, I've just created a new screen here with a couple of columns. You can see previous day close, earnings day high, and earnings day percent change. And this is the default method of calculating this data point. And what you can do instead, if you're interested in seeing a different calculation, say, for example, from the previous day close to the earnings day high, you can do that through the filters modal. Jump over here to performance and scroll all the way down. You'll see percent change from, and this is where you can put in your custom values. So in this example, I want to calculate the change from the previous day close to the earnings day high. And I'm just going to do above negative 100 because nothing will ever be below negative 100. And we just want this as information. We don't necessarily want to filter anything out of our data set. And you can use this as like a stop loss or, whatever you want. But now you can see the difference between the two values. So this is the earnings day percent change calculated from the previous day close to earnings day close. And now our custom percent change from is calculating from previous day close to earnings day high. So now you can see that value there. You can sort based on that value, and you can even filter it if you'd like. So this is percent change from previous day close to earnings day high greater than negative 100. And you can do this in the screener tab, and you can also do this in the watch list tab. Next question. I'm not seeing some data points for EPS and earnings estimates. Yeah, I don't have those. Data vendors like to be protective of those values, and they charge a premium markup for those. So I haven't been capturing those. It is on the roadmap. I'd like to get EPS actual, EPS estimate, and also revenue estimate and revenue actual. All of those data points are on the roadmap. So I don't know when that'll happen, but it'll come at some point. So keep a lookout for that. Another question, is there a way to add a column that lists the next earnings date for a symbol? I don't currently have that as a column, but you can see over here the next earnings date. I have the value there, but I can add a column too, and I'll add that to the roadmap as well if you guys think that's useful. What else? Is there a Discord or anything like that? You can ask questions as they come up. No, there's not. You can send me an email through this contact form. That's about it right now. My business partner and I have some plans to add a private WhatsApp group for subscribers, but that isn't up and running yet. If you think that would be useful, let me know, and we can get that set up. And I think that's all the questions. So we'll call it a wrap for today. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to hit me up